Do you struggle to be with your emotions? Are you scared of your feelings? Watch today's videos for 4 steps to help you learn how to really experience and be with your feelings. If you're new around here, my name is Diana Garcia. I'm a licensed therapist and owner of a private practice called Nurturing Minds Counseling. Hit that subscribe button now so you get more tips to improve your emotions, your mental health, anxiety, things like that. All right, let's jump into this week's video. I was attending this virtual world conference and I saw a presentation on acceptance by a psychologist, Beth Ebert. Hopefully I'm not butchering her name. So this is really what resonated for me from that presentation, these 4 steps, but my interpretation of how I see them and how I'm explaining them. Go through 4 easy steps to help you increase willingness. Okay, so what do I mean when I mean willingness? So willingness is really the ability to be with your full range of experiences, thoughts, feelings, physical sensations, memories, and just allow them to be without getting so caught up or stuck by them. That even means kind of being with all the uncomfortable sensations that sometimes show up, right? Fear, anxiety, grief, sadness, and whatnot. So willingness is all about like kind of this superpower skill that would really help you live your life. This is really a concept that I'm taking from acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT for short. Generally, kind of these are 4 steps that are going to help you. So the first step is really just noticing what's going on. So that's really, really key. A lot of times when I'm working with clients, the first step to even learning how to move through emotions or any experiences is noticing that that's happening for you in the moment. So how do you notice that? So typically noticing like if anything has shifted in your body, noticing just like if there's like all of a sudden you're kind of having certain thoughts that are showing up, or maybe you're just feeling the emotion pretty strongly, whatever it is. But the only way that you're going to start to increase your ability to be with emotions is if you can notice when it's actually happening, right? Because if you notice it, then you can choose to do something different. Other ways, I really encourage clients just to really start to pause and check in with themselves throughout the day, because that pausing and checking in, that's a skill, right? That's the skill that's going to help you notice when emotions are showing up for you. The second step is really deciding what to do with this experience once you've noticed it. So what I mean by that is that clearly there's times when you notice an emotional experience, but you choose not to turn towards it and you choose to turn away. And sometimes that's just because you're not ready, you're not prepared, it feels too overwhelming. Other times it's just logistically, it's not the right time, right? So if, for example, I'm in the middle of a client session and I notice an intense experience for me, maybe something that keeps coming up from my personal life or something that gets triggered from a client, some of my own countertransference, then I have to be really aware of that and note that intentionally I am making a choice not to explore that or look at that because that's not the appropriate setting or venue, right? So it's really helpful to know, even if it is the appropriate setting, like I said, you always have a choice whether you're choosing to turn towards this experience or not. The third step is really about exploring and getting curious with the experience, so really leaning into it. And what do I mean by that? It's really kind of starting by slowing down. Again, how we increase this willingness is in these super small micro moments. So when you've noticed the experience, you're making a choice to turn towards it, really it's helpful to just slow down. A lot of times I'll direct my clients to just notice where in their body they feel this experience, like how they know it's present. Maybe tuning into their breathing. Sometimes I can do some deep breathing. Sometimes there's just no need. Just notice your breathing, right? Because your breathing is always present. And again, then the experience is like, can we really just sit here and be with it? Can you allow these waves of different emotions or experience to be there, right? And sometimes when we're experiencing an emotion, it can be like multiple different experiences. Maybe I'm anxious, but I'm also sad. Maybe my mind is starting to race. Maybe there's some memories that are starting to show up. So all these little different pieces are starting to come with this experience. And so your job is just to take one at a time and be with it, not get so overwhelmed by it. Again, a lot of times I will use either focusing and grounding on the feet. You can check out this exercise for more formal kind of activity to help you with that. But other than that, or just like the breathing to help use more as a centering, not necessarily to get rid of the experience, just to help the client center or use that as a point of focus if at times whatever's showing up feels too uncomfortable. So really kind of taking an attitude of being really curious and open, like, okay, this is just my experience and can I just make some more room for it? And maybe even just for a short amount of time, right? Slowly start to build that tolerance. And the fourth step is really where you start to just kind of notice, evaluate, see what happened, right? Kind of learn Did anything change from the experience? Did you notice anything, like there was moments when it felt really intense and then it went away? Or did it just really stay kind of revved up at a certain point? What happened to you after a while? So the fourth part is really just getting really curious and evaluating your experience of what happened when you were with this experience. Yes below to let me know that you're going to start to work on your willingness. Trust me, this is a skill that I highly recommend. Typically, I see with a lot of clients, they'll say like, I just can't be with emotions. I don't know how to do that. I can't handle that. And I get it, especially if you've never really worked through being with your emotions, and sometimes your emotions feel very big or intense, and they usually tend to really lead to urges to do something that aren't really helpful. It's the skill of starting to super slow down and like build in those really small windows of just increasing your ability to be with this experience. And think about it, the more you can start to do that, the less emotions are going to be scarier, and then the less control and power they're going to have in your life. Because if you're not afraid to feel an experience, it'll just be, and it won't kind of influence your life in a way that maybe you don't want it to. All right, guys, I hope this exercise, these 4 steps, is really helpful for you. And as always, I encourage you to continue nurturing your mind, body, and soul, whatever that looks like for you. Thanks, guys.